Can I inspect that?
Go with the flow. No, you can't. I take the egg.
Is that a real egg?
Okay, about 5 minutes we'll start our service.
Okay.
About 5 minutes, so you need to use the porta-john. About 5 minutes we'll start. Get you a drink.
Alright, make the noise like a chicken.
Huh?
Make the noise like a chicken. Reach in there.
All right.
Reach in there and there's the egg.
Very nice job. That was good. Very nice. But I had to get new VCRs, but I got new VCRs, and now I got to start dubbing. That's what I'm saying.
All righty.
I haven't forgot you. I had to tell Fred the same thing, and they said, "Oh, that's okay. We ain't in a rush." Oh man, I thought I had him. I was going to sneak up on him. Oh, man. I'm going to give him... Every picnic, he does this to me.
Does that thing have zoom on it?
Yeah, it's got zoom on it, but I can't zoom on him. I thought I'd sneak up. I said, where's Josh? Where's Keith?
So, go like right over there and zoom in on his face. Say, there's Keith.
I can't. He's right there. I went to sneak up on him. He's already got his head covered. I said, I wasn't even ready. And he says, I saw you coming at the corner of my eye. I go, ah, man. One of these days, I'm going to get him. Hey, what's he going to do if Channel 10 News or 3 comes up at him? Hey, we like you doing a... Really, want to be on there? All of a sudden, he dreams cameras are everywhere. He wake up, oh man, what a nightmare. Bill's got me paranoid. I'm seeing cameras everywhere. I hope Keith knows that. I hope Keith knows that there's satellites that's filming him right now. They got satellites that can come down and zoom on a dollar. That's the reason why they say speed checks by not radar, but speed checks by
Forced by aircraft.
yeah.
Nope.
Your watch looks like it's better than mine.
Nope, take 6.
Probably cost more than mine too. How much your watch cost? $10. $10? Mine was probably $1.99 or something like that. Here, let me get a ground level shot here. Here, you let everybody else look inside of it.
I know how to use this. My friend has one just like this one. Well, let's check out this guy.
Yeah, that's what I do. I narrate it while I'm filming. I do comical stuff.
Yeah. So, is this one 200?
1 times 50. Well, it cost me around $200, yeah, but it has a digital zoom, but I only use that if I got to do a long distance shot.
Yes.
This goes up to 20 times zoom. When I hit that digital, if I hit the digital, it goes up to 1 times 20 and 1 times 50.
Cool.
Tommy's goes up to 300 times zoom.
My friend has one at 700.
Ooh, that's even further. On TV, I've seen one that got 800 times zoom. Man, you can see the UFO license plate there.
Yeah. That's pretty good zoom.
That's where the government's got to say, uh-oh. We got 2 high-tech digitals. We can't say trash can lids anymore. Greg, our secret's out.
Yeah.
We can't trick the society. You know, that's the same way with those triangle shit.
Knock it in there, Paul.
Trash can lids. Trick photography. That's why you can do it by color.
Yeah, no.
But if it's a real sunny day, it's best to go by the black and white because then you can't see inside that.
Yeah.
Nick, you threw it way in there,
I found out the hard way.
See what this guy's doing.
I found out that if you use the color one, it takes more of your battery too. I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I told a lot of
Hurry up, Austin.
I told a lot of girls that I said, man, my battery goes so quick. Thanks for
Well, I like to go like this and watch this thing go over.
Yeah, that's what I do. I try to follow it. I happened to be filming the kickball thing, where they used with the bat and flipped out a rusty can and hit. I filmed it right when they hit John right in the chest or shoulder.
Have you ever tried to do like something for America's Funniest Home Videos?
I told Tommy them to mail it off. I think I should do it. But there's a funny skit. If you watch the part where Michael finds him disappear, he's sitting there trying to hunt for the black hole. The thing is, I said, Mike, we need to practice. He said, oh, I know where the secret door is in the white and the black sheet. All I got to do is walk around the trash can. It's right there. We don't need to rehearse it but once. Well, when it's time to show it, he's sitting there trying to find the... He's moving the front.
There you go.
He's trying to pop back up, come back down. Then he goes over by my Super X levee, trying to look there. And you hear David's father, who's filming with the camera at the time, going, hiss, hiss. And I was laughing. And I was thinking, oh, great. And I said, Mike, the black, kind of in code, the black hole is right there. The black hole, oh, and then he disappears.
trumpet of the voice of heaven, time shall be no more, and the morning branches shall bright and fair. When the saints of earth shall gather over on the other shore, and the roll is called yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called yonder, 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 you can look for me, for I'll be there. I'll be there, I'll be there, I'll be there. You can look for me, for I'll be there. Singing glory to His name, glory to His name, glory to His name. There's my heart was lost, glory to His name, precious name, oh how sweet, full of comfort and joy of heaven, precious name, oh how sweet, full of comfort and joy of heaven. Heaven is love forever. Okay. All right, Josh has got our message this afternoon. Again, right after the message is done, if you can help us by doing some cleanup, make sure you take all your stuff, take your strollers, your bags, anything you brought with you. We're going to try to get this all cleared out and put everything away. If you brought some dishes, please take them. If you brought some desserts, even if there's some store-bought things, you can maybe just take them, or if someone wants some extra store-bought cookies, just go and grab some, okay? We'd like to get this all cleaned off if we can, just right after the service, and then the park is free to however you want to do it. All right, Josh, what's your
About a year ago, last summer, I worked at the Wild Christian Camp, and Tom Farrell was the speaker there for 4 weeks. And each week of that camp, he always starts off with a verse, and he has the kids read it the first night, but he has them memorize it as the week goes on. They start off each night with that verse. And the verse that he picked just kind of stuck with me from last summer up until now. And then as time went on, thoughts started coming to mind. First developed a message that 4:11 it says, "For the Lord God is the sun and shield, the Lord is great and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly." Let's have a word of prayer before we start. Heavenly Father, I just thank you for your word. I thank you for the opportunity to speak here, the time of fellowship we've had. I pray that you use this message now and this verse in each of our lives, Lord, in Jesus' name. This particular verse, I was just noticing a few main things, and there was 3 particular things that really stood out to me. For 2 things that God is to us, 2 things that God gives us, and then the end result. But in looking at this, to me, it stood out to me as God's protection, God's provision, and God's prerequisites. And starting off, notice the first phrase of that verse, it says, "For the Lord God is the sun." How many of you ever walked through a darkened room, and the light switch is in the middle of the room on the other side? You have no idea what's in front of you. My family goes camping every October, and a lot of times we go walking at night. We don't really usually go walking on trails, but usually there's always tree stumps or something throughout the trails. You're not walking with a flashlight, you can trip over something. Well, the truth is, God is a light in our path. Isaiah chapter 60, verses 19 to 20 says, "The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. The sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended." People, before they receive Christ, they're walking in darkness. we have the privilege and opportunity to walk in light because God is our light. I think let's say that he may give you maybe a son to you, or he, later on will say he is. And often we go through points in our lives where we think, we don't see God. But the truth is we get focused more on the circumstances of the situation than on God. It's like you ever walk through a yard and you have, at my house, we have mercury vapor light, and that lights up everything around the yard. If you're focused in the direction of the light, everything around you can see. If you turn around, all you see is black, because it's night. What happens? You turn your focus away from God. And so basically God is the sun for us. And then secondly, notice he's a shield for us. Psalm 28 verse 7 says, the Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore my heart greatly rejoices, and with my song will I praise him. God is our shield. I thought of it this way as I was thinking about this. Soldiers in times past, they used shields when going into battle, and even in just a defense position. But Roman soldiers had two types of shields. They had one that was kind of a smaller round one that they used in general hand-to-hand combat. Other soldiers carried a larger one that was about that high or about that wide. And what they could do is, if an enemy attacked, they could take that shield and they could crouch down behind that, and nothing could hit them because it completely shielded them. But that shield only covers one side of them, whereas God shields us all around. And I got to thinking about this. This is a thought that came to mind. The soldiers like that, they had to carry their shield. Every soldier going in any attack or battle, they have their own armor that they have to carry. But I look at it this way: we don't have to carry our shield. God carries us. And so he is a shield. That's God's protection. But then notice also God's provision. The Lord will give grace and glory. In 2 Corinthians 9 and verse 8, Corinthians 9 verse 8 says, "And God is able to make all grace abound towards you, that ye always, having all sufficiency in all things, may abound to every good work." So basically we see God lighting our path as we're walking in the Christian life. But then also we see God's protection around it as he shields us. But then we see God's grace provided for us. It doesn't say he might give it, it says he gives us grace. It's not something that has to be earned. We receive Christ as our Savior. God will give us grace in any circumstance. But the question that we should ask is, do we turn to that grace? In Hebrews chapter 4, in verse 16, it says, "Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need." God will provide the grace needed for every situation. Even sometimes when we may not see it, God is still at work. But then, secondly, he will also give glory. Proverbs 3 and verse 35. Proverbs 3:35, it says, "The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools." In Isaiah 43 and verse 7, it says, everyone that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory, and I have formed him, yea, I have made him. I was thinking about this, really, I can only think of one reason that God would give us glory, and that's so we can further glorify him. He gives us the light, so we'll know how to live. He gives us the shield to protect us. He gives us grace to overcome trying times, obstacles, but then he gives us glory so that we can further bring glory to him. People can look at men in centuries past and wonder, men that went through just trying times. I think of a lot of missionaries in centuries past. They would go to foreign fields and they would have nothing. They would lose 3 and 4 children. I've heard of stories of men that have lost 2 or 3 wives after they'd married one, and then it just didn't happen. Yet they stuck to it. Joshua 1:8 says, "This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest preserve to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, then shalt thou have good success." God's prerequisite is that we walk uprightly. And it says, "No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly." And I think it could be seen in the idea of people that want the goodness of God. They want God to bless them and give them things, but they don't want to live for God. And sometimes I think we give the idea that it is hard to live the Christian life. And no, it's not easy. But sometimes it's only hard when we try to live it in our own strength. If we are focused on God, deriving our strength from Him, then it is not hard, because it's the struggle on God. He is there, that grace provided for us. But it says, just think of it in this sense: no good thing. It means no, there's nothing will He withhold from us if we are walking uprightly. God's Word is the answer to every problem we face. And sometimes it may not appear all the time, but God will be a sun for you. He will be a shield for you. He will give you grace to overcome any obstacle, and He will give you glory so you can further glorify Him. Let's pray. Father, Lord, I just thank you for the truth that we see in your word, Lord, how you are our protection. I pray that our faith will be on you. I pray bless us in this time, give us safety as we go our separate ways. Lord, continue to work in our hearts, Lord. In Jesus' name.
Well, we're done, Josh. I'd like to just thank those of you who brought food today. Many of you helped us set up, and we really appreciate that. Thank you for bringing the drinks. We have lots of drinks left. If you want to grab a drink before you put them away, go ahead. Most of them should be cold. If you want those couple of cases to run open, if you want to take one home, do so. Please take everything away. Take it all.
Take it all, take all, take
All right,
all.
we're going to be dismissed. Please help us usually clean it up. Thank you all. Had a great time.
What was that? Carl being comical. Hey, everybody.
You can hold it for me. Okay, if you want some cut watermelon.
Now Jimmy
Tell you
Pearce
what,
is
you can cut some watermelon. So you got some watermelon. Also, wait a minute. If anyone is interested in taking a boat ride, Mike Wagner's got his boat over here, and he will take a family, not just the kids or teenagers, just if the family'd like to take a little boat ride. See Mike, he's going to be driving over at the boat dock, which is down the way, so you can drive there. You can take a boat ride on the river today. Mike Wagner.
Hey, this is Deja Vu with Ben Hancock doing the same thing. Who's doing it? Oh, little kids are doing it. How many plates of food was that?
Well, who, me?
Yeah.
Nah, I had about one plate, man. I was, one plate.
One plate? Everybody was saying you ate a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's what they say. I don't believe everybody.
All right. I was going to say, because I wanted to see if you taught Tommy. Because Tommy ate one time 7 plates of food one time.
Ooh, wow.
You wonder where it goes.
In his feet, huh?
In his feet, maybe. Who?
Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello. Taking after the family, the Taylors. Here's Roy. Everybody. Okay. There's both.
I was going to leave for until and then catch up to the rest of the restaurant. Alright. Oh no, just gotta stay out. Sorry.
Do the crocodile again.
I can't. He can do the crocodile. He is 4 times better than
All right, you do it. Well, I seen him do it.
He can do a whole lot better. Speaking of which,
Here's my friend Garrett here.
Okay.
Rocky! We're from the Outback, that is.
oh yeah, Mike.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got to go now.
Oh man, we're getting good here. See you later. Here's Wayne Berry.
Going? Have to tell Chase that tomorrow.
I was telling R.J. Campbell, or I think that's who it was. I said, do the crocodile guy. And he says, no, Chase is better. I go, he could do it?
I gotta see my
Okay. Oh. Can you look through it?
Okay.
Go long, Sherrie. There you can, go long. That is cool.
It's cool.
Yeah. And it costs $200. Although my friend Tommy got one, it costs a little bit more than that. It has more bells and whistles to it. Mine goes up to 1 times 50 zoom when I hit the digital zoom, but if not, it'll just go 10 times 20. And Dave's, I forgot how far his goes, and Dave Duncan's, and his father's goes lesser than that. That's the reason why he wanted to use Dave's camera to go to the Falcon show. And what's interesting, his dad says, Dave, you need to get your camera, that way you can have your camera. Because I need my camera. Well, now that Dave's got a powerful camera, his dad, Dave said, guess what? My dad's using my camera now. And it's kind of comical. It's more powerful. But Tommy's got 7 times, what is it? 300 times zoom, but, and then Jordan says he's got to finish at 700 times zoom. And I've seen on TV that 800 times range. What's your favorite hobby?
I think it's... Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't found one yet.
I like to juggle, do tricks, and dub magic tricks, and dub trick stuff. They look like they're having ice fights.
Oh my God.
They did that last year, but only it was Ben Hancock throwing it at the girls, and the girls throwing it on his back. And I was like, hey, Ben, and on the camera I said, this reminds you of the peppermint patty? And he goes, yeah, refreshing. Yeah. Ooh. Ah, runaway ball. I'm holding two hands. I would have grabbed the football.
All right, so here.
Big ball.
Good spray. That's a nice spiral. Man, my arm's hurting me.
I could never throw that.
Steven, come play.
You can throw farther than I can. Someone. Who's that? Oh, it's Carl. Carl's in that truck. SUV or whatever you call it. Oh, boat ride.
Oh, are you 60 or really? Do you think you can carry some of these then? Because I need help. I need to carry some of those or that. No, I can't even grab some of those. They're cool.
Hey, Ellen, you signed a flag for us?
Thank you. We don't have to carry it all over here. I'll take some. You got it? Good night. All right, thank you.
Wow. How are you doing that? I can't carry that much. That's a good talent right there. I can't do that. Hello. Hi, Daniel. You want to look inside of it?
Oh, sure.
Here's your forward and backwards. This is towards you. This is getting closer up. Pose like a magician. There you go. Whoop. Oh, we got tangled here. There we go. Yeah. I don't think he's left yet. I don't think he would leave. There he is. There's your dad right there. There's Mark. Is Mark going to pretend to knock into someone's vehicle? No, run over to people. Mark's going to pretend to run over people.
Run it over a pregnant lady.
You said the blowhorn? The way you said?
He had a bullhorn in the seat beside him. What the heck? Don't have that doing.
Oh, well, last year he had fun with that. He was sitting there going, and Kenny, he said, give me that. So I'm not videotaping, I'm doing tricks. I like... Yeah, I know. We need to get one of these Centinela candles in here or something. Huh? We ought to get some Centinela candles in here or something like that.
Yeah.
Or if
Your water.
I've seen these new kind. We got propane gas or something like that.
What kind of vape, huh?
New high-tech version.
Did he go, didn't he?
Yeah,
Eagle to go.
Yeah.
Took you on the sidewalk there. Took you on the sidewalk, you alright?
Alright.
Okay. You want to bring coffee? Yeah. Yeah, man. No, you ain't either.
Hey, Bill, how you doing, bro?
Alright.
You alright, man?
Yeah, filming and doing
You're good
tricks.
on that camera, man.
I got Jimmy to hold it so I could do some tricks. I had to get in there somehow.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, before that, I got him, he's doing some kind of comical acting, and I go, ah, and he saw the camera, he goes, ah. And he said, I said, I always want to get Jimmy acting. He said, yeah, you're going to charge like $6 for mission. And I go, I don't know about that. My dad Marcel made an appearance for a while and then went back to over there. Yeah.
How's it going over there? You doing okay?
Seems to be all right. So he just last night he made a batch of brownies to take over there, and he was letting Cheryl know information. So when she goes over there, she'll know what to do.
Yeah.
Because they both work over there. And I didn't have it on camera, but my dad pointed to Bobbie page, the littlest of the Cheryl's daughters, and my dad said, "You're getting fat," and she kind of smiled and patted her tongue. And I said, "Yeah, I know." And I'm thinking, I didn't have the camera at the time when I was eating at the time. I got caught off guard.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobbie, join the team. I got the salt shakers, man.
Yeah, that one guy too that I took out to dinner one time.
That's all I needed to get hooked on. Two.
Anything you wipe them off with? That's the problem. Take them away as they are.
I've been really busy in dubbing. We went to I know. King's Dominion. 2 days we did dub. I dubbed that. We spent at the hotel, and then we went to Busch Gardens. I filmed that, and then with my niece and nephew, Tommy took my niece and nephew and his nephew, Andy. We all went to water country. I filmed that. Then between there, I went and did all the rides and waters too. Then I'm listening. Oh, okay. And then we plan to go to water country again.
Are we gonna throw this away right here? Tomatoes? Anybody want them? Hey, Carl, we throwing these away? Yeah. Christy, you want these tomatoes? You like them so much? Huh? Okay.
We plan to go to water country again. And,
Oh, really?
And this
I haven't been
time.
to water country ever.
Ever?
Never been there. I've been to Wildwater Rapids.
Whitewater Rapids?
It used to be, it's called Ocean Breeze.
Ocean Breeze. Well, we plan to go over there, but only not for the Ocean Breeze part, because Andy wants to ride the glow cart, so we're gonna plan that routine. And
Put that thing down and start getting busy, man. Come on, buddy. Are you still going?
To tell you, is Gallagher here, and Chase and Gordon's father looked right up in the air like where? They're eating watermelon while we're lifting. I'm helping Jimmy and them. I'm helping them put the stuff in the truck. I'm exhausted trying to I told him I'm not throwing him, not like Popeye. And Kelly Scott laughed at Jimmy. He said he's not Popeye, and I go, ha ha ha.
I guess they just call them big wheels. The three-wheel plastic thing.
Locomatic?
Yeah.
Glad you made it.
You used to go riding as hard as you could down the court and then turn and skid your wheels out. Did you ever do those? I love those things, man. Did you ever have one?
I had my bicycle like that, just go sliding on those.
Well, we had bikes too, but no, before you were in a bike, you're in the big wheel.
Yeah.
In the court.
And you had a brake right inside?
No, I never had one. I had an Incredible Hulk one, and that's back when it first came out, I guess, on television.
Money now.
The wheels were, became hollow pretty much because you skid them out so bad. Stop filming, man.
I used to have a big wheel. It's yellow and red.
There you go.
Although, don't run it into a tree. When I was a kid, I ran into a tree and the whole thing split in the middle.
I'll bet. They're just plastic.
And I'm hitting her holding the handle. I'm thinking, what happened? I even had a Mighty Mo truck.
Y'all
You push
ready?
it.
Take some of that corn.
We're leaving you, man. Come on.
Mom, I got me again. You can take some of that corn and some more, though.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey. I'm fine, thanks.
Right.
Here. Take all this footage and dub it, make everybody copies, and that'll be all set.
It'll be set.
Yeah.
Don't get wet now. It's raining.
Yeah.
See you later.
When I make you guys copy, I'll put your 2 commercials up front. You don't have to go, excuse me, sons, but I gotta find my 2 commercials. Alright. Alright.
That's perfect. You just go like this. They were saying you might be right.
Alright. I got a lot of funny footage on here.
I can imagine.
Mark running over to girls and grown-up girls in a truck. I thought he was going to sneak up and pretend to hit Rusty's truck. Instead, now, my mind thought that, but I was close. He tried to run over to grown-ups in the truck. And someone says, there's foghorns in there. In other words, they'll grab it if they want to knock them in. Then I got an interesting footage that I don't think John would like to play back too much. I got the part where Rusty actually, his hands were sweaty. The went out and hit him right in the chest. Boom! Right in the shoulder, too.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know about the horseshoes, but I don't know if I got a footage, but I got Mike Rock saying, you okay? You okay? And I aim over there. And Don Hancock said, like, praise the Lord, the kid's all right. He almost got hit by a horseshoe.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to play back see if I got that, too. I was panning at the time when he said that. Ring. I got Jimmy doing some kind of funny acting skit in front of his friends right there.
Oh, yeah?
I was filming, and then as he's doing it, when he was halfway finished, he saw the camera and he goes, I got it. I always wanted to get Jimmy on camera, and Jimmy said something like, you'll charge for admission like $2 or something. So in return, I said, here, hold this camera. Hold the camera. Film me doing that. I did the egg bag, I did the scarf tricks, and all that stuff right on the tape. Jimmy said, can I inspect that egg? Okay, it's wooden, but besides the point, let's do the trick. I put the egg in the bag, squish it up, look, scrambled egg. Oh, it's not there. Inside in, inside out. Reach in there, make a noise for the chicken. Cluck, cluck, reach in. There's the egg.
Andrew, wait.
Two. I was thinking What you want to do? Ride bikes or something?
Josh Copeland went down there and he told me that they were going to go for a boat ride. But
Oh. Someone mentioned it, I don't know. They mentioned the name. That's probably where most of the kids went. I don't see them all here. Except Josh is there.
sometimes you got about a half hour. But I mean, it's more than I can explain to you in just a minute. So, a lot more trouble. That's why they cost so much. But anyway, I wouldn't mess with it. There's just way too much trouble for me. I'll tell you, for instance, when you plant two rows of fields and one row seeded one. You have to do that so your pollinator has every third plant has to be all the way around there, or seeded. So you got to plant two different kinds because they look alike. If they look alike, you get it mixed up. You get it mixed up, man, we'll buy it. So, I mean, there's a lot of things, you know.
Farming is a science anyway. It's a science anyway. It's not simple. I'll put a seed in the ground and water it. I mean, it don't work like that.
I hit the one button. You've got enough room for...
Hey, Susan, come here and get your pizza right now.
Oh, yeah.
Can I see that?
Here, hold that for a minute. Hold that. It's recording. So I'll let your brother Andrew get it.
Does this float? Can we find out? You want to find out if it floats? They're in the water.
Oh, no, don't throw a $200 camera away. Then Tommy's only got the one with the 300 times zoom. His is more powerful than Dave's and mine put together.
Objects are closer than they appear.
Yeah, Paul. Tell that to Jurassic
Not
Park.
on my shirt, please.
Yeah.
What's up?
Bruh.
Ice.
Smile, you're on candid camera.
Paul, get this on video.
You just in putt.
Paul, get this on video. Paul,
Oh, you watch that too, huh? On TV?
Paul, get this on video. I can make this ball disappear. Watch.
Oh, no! Yeah! Oh, it reappears. It went to the UFO and came back.
Want to see it again?
This is amazing, kids. Watch again in slow motion. Woo! How in the world does he do it?
Get this too. All right, here we go. This is N1, Volume 5, Take 2. Ready?
Mixtape 4.
Oh, he got him that time. Oh, he dribbles it out. Takes him back. Oh.
Look at him.
Get that. Erase it.
Hello, Mrs. and Mr. Hancock.
Get over that way.
You got that from Blair.
You like that? People get that with me all the time when they're
Wow, look at him doing that. That is neat. I like that opportunity.
Hey, I know cameramen can catch balls, right? You ready? Whoa.
What do you think they did?
Y'all put ice on his shirt? Y'all put ice on his shirt?
Yes. This reminds me of David, you last time the City Park thing. Ben and the girls were playing throw ice on the back. Who? Ben Hancock last time. Ice in the back.
Do you keep the videos?
Look at the next LeBron James.
I make copies for everybody.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Look at LeBron.
I haven't even seen the pictures that y'all made.
Alright.
Well, I have to give you
I
guys...
got a rest.
No, I know.
Abby Lee.
Check out the DCs when we're going up. Okay, and the chain. The chain's nice. Ranger shirt.
I wanted it for Christmas and then...
Hello, what's your name?
What do you think?
I think your name is Mr. Nobody.
Yep.
Lucky guy.
Early Christmas present. They let me open up so that way by the time Picknick
They're throwing up on us.
What's up, Levi? Freeze it right to film you, right? Then I push pause.
Look at the nasty feet.
And I film the empty spot. And then press pause, you get back in, unpause it, and it looks like you're there, you're gone, you're
Magic
back.
Bill is sharing his magic tricks. Everybody listen closely.
Okay. See the egg?
Oh, I see the egg.
I'll put the egg in the bag.
You put the egg in the bag.
Oh, I did.
Now I'm going to make scrambled eggs.
Now you're going to make scrambled eggs.
Turn the bag inside out.
Turn the bag inside out.
Turn it back inside in.
Turn it back inside in.
Okay. It's a very new bag, so it's going to
All
work.
right, drop the camera.
All right, Josh, make a noise like a chicken. Reach in there and get it. Here's the egg, yeah.
How do you do that? That's not magic. You said scrambled eggs. He lied. Look at the fake magician. Liar.
You don't understand. It's like I made scrambled eggs, but it became back solid again.
Nah, that's not what you said.
But it's real deceptive. You can't see what it's at.
There's always a secret pocket.
Look at the sky. The sky is nice.
Yeah, but the secret pocket is not really expensive. That's what it's about.
This is Alex Rodriguez from the Rangers. Oh, look at him. Number 72. This is Richard, the wannabe Orioles, but too bad I'll never make it. Never ever make it. Hey, you trying to throw stuff at me, man?
What's that doing? McCoy.
Hey, who gets this? Let's take me beating the... Who is this?
Hey, give me catching the ball, ready?
Derek, man.
No. Yeah, give me catching the ball.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'll get this guy catching the ball. Somebody throw the ball to him. Throw the ball to this guy, Richard. Richard, catch the ball. Oh, I got it.
I gave you the mom.
Somebody... Oh, look at this chick. Oh, that chick's ugly. She forgot to shave this morning.
She forgot to shave.
Ugh.
Oh!
Swatted.
Oh, Heather, here. What?
And we'll go back to the fake magician.
I don't run the...
To his fake chick. Boo! Throw him off the stage. Boo! He's fake.
Yeah, very... I didn't.
Look at this wannabe David Copperfield.
There you go.
Take off the hat.
Yeah. I went to
Fake.
his live show.
Nah, that's not cool, man. Let's play with the hat on. Nice glasses.
Oh, man, we got water over there. Make a noise like a chicken.
Richard, throw the ball up and dive so it looks like you're making a diving catch. And I'll take it.
No, I ain't getting dirty.
Web, Jim.
McCoy.
I was taking that, too.
You what?
I was taking that. Oh, I didn't know that. Where'd you get that from?
Yeah, I thought it was
Cooler.
Is there any more left?
No.
Any left?
The cooler's gone. It's took it. You want to fight?
No, I can't even read that. Are you serious? You want it? You want it?
I didn't want it. I'll just do it anyway.
Who is it for?
One of these guys. You can have it.
Who does it?
You can have it. Don't worry
Are you
about it.
sure?
Yeah, take it.
I'm the good Samaritan, giving Paul a drink. Oh, Richard got busted.
Angel?
So whose camera is this?
Let's go.
Magic Man.
You almost done it?
Please go to the handkerchief.
Wait a minute.
Hey, that's not fair.
Don't say anything.
Hey, can I get my piece?
Then you stuff it in there, you know? Stuff it in like this so good, you can work it up. Do the handkerchiefs and all that.
Where's the handkerchief now?
Where is it? It's in the, I'm going to see if you understand.
You're wearing a glove.
It's in the TT.
Hey, look, show me your hand real quick.
In here?
No, that hand.
Right here?
In the pocket.
In the pocket?
Pocket.
My pocket? Let's see in my pocket. Well, it's not easy to do, is it?
I'll hold the camera.
Because he's still recording. I don't know if he turned it off or on or what.
Yep, it's still recording.
This is not the best one, but anyway. I used to have a better one that I could go like this. I could show my
Where
hands.
did you get those clean pants from? Home service clean
You
pants.
go like that, and then you just reach in and go like this, pull it out. But I used to have a better one that I could do it at a distance you wouldn't know, and I could turn a 1 into a 5 and back to a 1. You know.
How do you do that? Seriously?
How I do that?
Like any handsome one. Yeah, small hands.
He doesn't reveal secrets.
Except for mega illusions, I reveal, but
Hey man, it's in your hand. That's
Yeah.
cheap. Look at this. The guy's fake.
it's a waffle, though. Yeah, Now, if you want to reveal something, the Statue of Liberty disappeared with its lazy cruising. Here's the object, here's the statue. They're looking to a ring of light. And the helicopter followed the movement, dropped the sheet. It looks like it's gone, and a fake video blip off the radar. They cost copper $500,000 to do that, and Jim Steinmark is the best way to do it. Now the Learjet.
I've always wondered how they do that.
I showed the diagram of your dad one time. He says, that copper, he's clever, isn't he? I said, well, yeah, but John Gahn helped build the illusion, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes that help him.
Hey, did you ever hear of David Blaine?
Yeah, he's good too. He's coming up with another special. He's going to, I forgot where it is, in Ireland or somewhere, or where that big tower is up there. He's going to do some kind of bridge jump like Virginia and tied up. I think it's his straitjacket, and he's going to jump over a handcuff.
Wow, there's no game today.
But I like how he does that. I mean, I like when he does the card tricks. Can I show you something that transcends? That's how he does that. But I don't got the deck of cards. I do
Why
some
did
deck
you
of
go to
cards.
the game?
Where'd you learn all that magic
Bob Schofield, you know, son Peter with that tubular bike. Him and Fred Stahl, the one today this morning that the pastor said this is Fred Stahl, and he did like the morning thing. Fred Stahl taught me magic.
Sherrie prayed this morning.
Oh. Fred Stahl helped me, and Bob Schofield, and the kids around my neighborhood to come up with books and hand it to me. And they said, here, Bill, I trust you with it. I Xerox copy, and I handed it back to him. You know, it was like that. And then I just prayed every day to learn all the big stuff, and now I know it.
That's good.
It's like the Learjet vanished. Copperfield, that was his first major illusion. And even in an interview, he says, a lot of magicians, even nowadays, made elephants, like Houdini made elephants vanish. Well, he says, nobody's made a jet disappear, so, you know, same kind of thing, we just made it bigger. What they did is just hold it out the back. The reason why you don't know that, the reason why you don't know they hold it out the back, because the back spectators that have blindfolds around it, when they form a circle around the hands, they're part of the act, and they help wheel, even though they drain the fuel of the 7-ton Learjet, they wheel it out the back, and then there's a netting, a stage netting, so you know that like on stage you see the netting change in each time. You can see through it at certain times when you backlight it and front light it, where you have it at night, you drape it all around there, and you can't see it. It looks like this back city runway. And then when they drop the sheets all around, take off your blindfolds, folks, we did it. And then they take off the blindfolds, and the people in the front are like, whoa. The people in the back are acting amazed too, but they're being paid, so, you know. But,
They're being paid. Good thing it wasn't any hotter than what it was.
yeah,
Would have been.
definitely.
All right, yeah.
Okay, see ya.
See you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hopefully Bob has not Bob shouldn't have left him. Regroup Pavilion. 4:30, 5-1.
Billy, you want a piece of watermelon?
Yeah.
Andrew, you want a piece? Billy? You want a big piece, Billy, or a little piece?
A little piece will do.
How about that?
Yeah, little thing.
Yeah, Andrew. Is that big enough? Yes, sir.
Hey, Andrew, wear the yellow one next week so I can see it, okay? That yellow, you'll wear your yellow shirt next week. Like your blue one today? That blue one, that yellow one, wear the yellow.
Want to come back for a second? I got the bike here. Well, you can ride your bike good, I tell you that. I don't know if I could ride with no hands when I was your age or not. They get a lot of practice, don't they?
I still can't. I got to hold on the handlebars.
You want a piece of watermelon? Oh, I got plenty.
I tried it. One time I almost flipped over. I was like, whoa! Takes a skill to go with no hands. I can't do that. The only thing I remember, the only thing I could do is put a card on a, with a clothespin and sound like a motorcycle while the spokes went. I hope Bob hasn't left yet.
That's his bike parked over there.
Okay. Because he bought me and David Lloyd in the van. I hope he...
Well, I saw his bike down there.
All right.
What, you say you got for a boat ride or something?
Yeah.
Boat ride? That's fine. Oh, did it again. I missed that wheelie. Yeah.
Now go get the lawnmower.
Lawnmower?
That's Grandpa.
I mowed at lawns. Lawnmower. Never mind.
I gotta mow my lawn. Oh, crap.
A long time ago, you had to push it.
Yeah, I've done that. It creates hand blisters. That way.
I always picture someone making a humongous lawnmower, like the biggest pizza and the biggest hamburger. And that way, all you gotta do is just lay it down on the lawn with a big
It's all
blade
done.
and one sweep, you know? It's like a big vacuum cleaner, you know?
I need more water. I'd like more water.
I'd be careful doing it in the street because you hurt real bad.
I can just show you. Let me do a free minute. Let me do a free minute, Joey.
You're not bionic, and you're not the bionic boy and bionic man and bionic woman with all the technology to avoid hurts and cuts. You know?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Joey. You've missed me before. Let me do something. Wait, let me finish it. I didn't do it right. Let's do it.
Oh, man, you're trying to do those wrestling things. You do know that stuff is fake, don't you? So don't do it for real, because they got it rigged up.
I know.
Okay, Andrew. Move this wood. Move this wood. Turn your direction. Put it in the back.
Tommy, right?
The only, no, that's Bobbie. Tommy is the one that drives. He's the one with the black hair. Tommy. He's tall.
You mean Tommy is the one that's got the Hot Wheels shoes that got fire on them?
No, that's Andy.
Who drives?
Drives Tommy. We're talking about Tommy. He said, so Joey just said, you're Tommy, right? And I said, no, his name is Bobbie.
Be careful.
I wouldn't climb that because you're not allowed to climb that, Bobbie. You know what Mr. Story said.
Am I allowed to climb it?
No. How much? Oh, I forgot how much you weigh. I weighed you. Now I forgot. Oh, 80-something. 80, I don't know what it was. 85. Andy weighs 96, although after eating a large candy bar the other day, and plus a lot of fish sticks and shrimp and four or five hot dogs and 2 hamburgers and 2 chickens, I don't know where it all goes, but it's starting to stick out. I bet he weighs more than 96 now. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a good climber, too. I can get the top.
Yeah, but Bobbie's got something you guys don't.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the ability to be scared.
I know.
Which means he'll end up doing things that average children would consider scary. He doesn't have fear. He doesn't feel pain either.
Hey, that's weird.
Well, you should see. Well, you saw the bike on Andy.
Yeah, I saw that on tape. That was hilarious.
Andy's bike. Andy did that little flip, but he got up. Banshee did it, landed smack on his face. I'd be down there in pain. He gets up like a $6 million man, like brushed it off like nothing. I'd be going, ow, 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 I'm bleeding. Call the doctor.
You know those little things you call banana peels?
Yeah.
Little things that got 3 wheels you have to use your legs to steer.
Mm.
I was riding the fence, I was zigzagging down the road, right?
Yeah.
And then it did a flip and it landed right on top of it.
Yeah.
I just got out with oil running down my face right here. I didn't even do nothing. Kind of nothing.
Oh, he's up there.
Like, hey, why am I like not hurt?
Well, you know, sometimes you don't even know. You cut yourself and you look, where'd that scab come from?
Bobbie's already snapped his teeth out and never felt it.
Man.
He's broke them to pieces and never felt pain.
Ow.
Man, I tell you.
Yeah, well, that's when you find out the roots are rotted. You want to find out the teeth are missing. Because once the top of the tooth is broke, the bottom rots.
Well, I've had toothaches, and I don't like those very
You
much.
don't feel it.
I got to take painkillers.
Luckiest child in the world. Lack of pain.
What? Man, I wish I had that ability.
He was born dead.
Yeah.
That's how he got that ability.
But he revived him.
Yeah.
So his brain got...
Yeah, it doesn't compute like everybody else's does.
That's weird.
Well, see, when you're dead, your brain needs air and function, and if oxygen, and
his didn't have it.
if you don't get your brain into oxygen in enough time, you can be brain dead. But his is only half, so I mean he can talk and everything. But a friend of mine named Bob Scope, who's a magician, he don't live too far from here, picks up in a church van. He has a special kid named Peter. He was brain dead all the way, and he can pronounce things, but he doesn't know who he is. And when he says,
there's different levels to the brain damage.
Yeah.
He just learns very difficultly, and he doesn't feel pain like everybody else does, and he has no fear.
I mean, he goes. He tells Bob, Daddy, chicken nuggets, and stuff like that, or, you know.
He just likes sitting up there, doesn't
He goes, Twain. Yeah, Peter Twain.
I know.
So for Christmas, he got a train set, and he got a...
That's cool.
Yeah. His dad takes care of him, and he has a special bike so that they can go riding. So Peter can pedal, and his dad Bob can pedal, and they pedal around here, and they go around. It's like a 2-bike thing. It's kind of neat.
If that ball was his, I'd be kicking it up in the air. Be like taller than a house. I can't find it. What? Dad, I can't find it.
But Bob Scope has also got a KTM motocross bike, because when he was a teen, he used to race semi-pro. And he prayed to Jesus, and he won one of the races by a wing and a prayer. That's how I put it. A wing and a prayer, Bob. You won it by a wing and a prayer. He was the very last one to get in the race, juice up the gas, and they said, no, I don't need a full tank. I can do it. He left church. The others are still waiting. Oh, man, we got to wait on Bob. Oh, come on. And all of a sudden, he's way behind us. Like, oh, we got Bob. Yeah, we're going to win. All of a sudden, he cleared the whole 4 or 3, you know, those things you go up and down on, the motocross thing. He cleared either 3 or 4 of them. He landed on the edge and came right into first place. And I thought, man, you won that race by a wing and a prayer, Bob. A wing and a prayer. And he said, in a sense, it showed those other teenagers that, that, you know, you have faith in Jesus and you need to go to church. They didn't go to church. They didn't win the race. And he was very last. And he had half a tank of gas.
Yes.
He records, he likes to, even to this day, he records Ricky Carmichael and all them. You know?
Hey, Johnny. Mama, better.
There was this one Christian guy, I forgot his name. He took him and his daughter Leslie. I don't know if Peter went or not, but it was trying to get that guy's attention that of how many laps behind he is. And when he caught the idea, then he noticed that, hey, Bob knows something. He knows the same what we know, and he would be able, and he was able to tell him how many laps far back. He'd go like this 3, 2, and he got the idea. And he says, and he mentioned the place that he's thankful for in a magazine. And Bob says he knew he meant him because he helped him that day. Because you know.
Hey, Joey, I can't get through.
If it went for Bob, the guy would have just been down and out. Oh man, I'll never catch up. Bob says I made his day. I got his spirits up. You know.
Jimmy. All right.
Yeah.
Guys, come in.
I post all this stuff on the internet. It's pretty neat. Yeah. I even post about Andy and what he does on the internet. Especially if he burps and farts. I titled the subject line, Andy farting. And they read it and they're...
That might be stolen.
What's bike stolen? Oh, okay. You need a fart sound? Okay.
I learned that on the bus.
I remember those days kids do like that. Chucky and all them. Charlie Ward and all them do that stuff. And Michael Klein say, Charlie, cut that out. And then Charlie would do it some more. And Michael Klein would get irritated. I think Andy can make that sound. Can you make that sound? Well, I know you can make it with your lip or something, and you can do it that way. Yeah, he can do it that way. You should see him with a whoopee cushion. Man, he had everybody laughing in the car.
I already broke it.
You broke it? You broke the whoopee cushion?
Everything I buy, I break. I know.
What, you ate them? Wow, someone ate a whole bunch of navy beans. Yeah, Cupler's about to do the new illusion. All of a sudden he lets one. Whoa, did anybody catch the... What was that? And then all of a sudden, whoa, that magic trick, it's strong. Boing. Oh, okay.
The camera.
Oh, he wants to do it like... that sounds like an elephant. You can buy a CD with has nothing but fart sound on it. And then you can buy one of these things that you just clip it on like a cellular phone. That just you press a button, it just makes fart sound.
Do you leave teeth marks and do you bleed on it? I left blood and I left teeth marks.
You must got sharp teeth, that's why.
Can I have some water? The teeth are all yellow. I want some. My teeth are yellow. Y'all got extra pig, don't you?
They drink water. They only drink ice water. I mean, we do have Mr. Pibb, but that was when we had our cookout today. But,
I know, I got extra pig. I went up to Walmart and saw a box. It said extra pig on it. Have you had Dr. thunder.
Stop the thunder.
I saw that and one mom like, okay, that must taste like Dr. Pepper, like Dr. Pepper does. I know.
Hey, Andy, you still got that scar on your stomach where you scratched it real bad? It's still there? Still not there? No?
Look what I can do with myself.
Oh, Andy can do that. Look, Andy can do it. Watch. Watch. He can go all the way in.
Watch this.
Oh, okay, you want to do it? Oh, she can do it the longest. Okay. Oh, you want to do it? Oh, Joey's got competition. Joey can do it.
I don't want to do it because I show my box. I did it longest.
Andy tried to do it the longest, yeah.
The boxers will show.
Oh, your boxers are... Oh, okay.
We will. I'm not joking. I was the best at competition because Joey kept stopping and breathing. The whole butt.
I tried to get my nephew Eugene to do it. He weighs 124. He sucked in real good, too. I was like, oh, man, you guys can do that. I can't do that.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, you want to do it again? All right.
My stomach's going.
Here. Yeah.
Watch this. Like I ate my stomach in my own stomach.
Cager's going. I've never seen that version.
One finger.
I know you swallow air, you burp there, but you know.
Hey. One. What? Put the camera here.
Here, you hold it. You do it. Hurry up, the battery's about to
I wear boxers.
That hurts.
We don't want to see them.
You don't want to see them. You got Scooby-Doo ones.
I got fireballs. I tried that. I got rattlesnakes.
I can verify you got Scooby-Doo. I got it on tape.
I haven't got them on.
You ain't got them on, that's true.
Really?
But if you start talking like Scooby-Doo and wanting to pig out, then I know you got them on.
Scooby-Doo rock.
There's Johnny. Time to go. Let me look for the tape, you guys. I know it's around here. If you see the word battery, low battery, then it cuts.
It doesn't say low battery, it's blank.
Hey, Andy. Andy, look. Salt.
The Tower of Terror.
No, it's the Empire State Building, right?
What if it was the Tower of Terror?
It's making a statement. It lives where water is, where there's salt. And if all the sea salt was piled on top of it, it would cover the whole entire state building. That's what they're getting at.
All that time Bobbie in the bathroom, you didn't put the plate up?
Well, you know if you can see any fish over there or not. Sometimes you can find fish. Otto guy.
Grandma has one of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tried to not make it look like I'm recording drunk or something, like Tommy said. I try to keep it steady as much.
Don't record drunk.
I try to keep it steady as possible. I'm trying my best.
Otto?
So basically, if Tommy could,
Not in your car.
so I brought Nauticus to Tommy. He couldn't be there, so magically it's going to come to him for the magic moment. And my nephew Eugene's never been to Nauticus, so he'll see it on tape.
He's never been here to Nauticus. And he lives here in Virginia?
They moved this summer.
Oh, okay. He'll love it.
Well, they lived
How old
somewhere.
is
They lived in North Carolina, and then they moved to Roanoke, Virginia, and now they're back into Portsmouth, where my parents are, and where Ray's parents are, because my sister, Stacy, and all that.
I want to do too.
It's behind Mid City.
I want to
I live in Mid-City area.
I want to do.
Yeah, it's 30. Well, my parents is 3211 Brighton Street, and they live Brighton, B-R-I-G-H, Brighton Street, 3211 Brighton Street, 23707.
That's just up the street from me.
And
I live in county.
And season. And that's when they went to the pool, huh?
Oh, we'll probably be through by then. But if you want to go outside, you can go out and go through the house and out the back door.
Yeah.
Hey, you looking at mine?
No, he does.
Hey, buddy.
Which one? Downtown.
One on high street? You mean the one that had that girl that pulled the booger out with you?
Here's the black teacher. I'm scared of the white teacher. I'm scared of black teacher.
Sherrie and Amanda, where'd they go? They went so quick.
I don't know what they did. Sit it up.
I'm confused because some people say, black people are like, and then the other
Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Where'd they go? They go in here? I thought they were here. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Joey and Amanda, I can...
The magic's funny.
Do what?
I said you're looking for your imaginary friend. The magic's funny.
Well, how did they leave? They came up through here, right?
No, I haven't seen them.
Oh, there they are. Where were they? Oh, I see. They came through there. I was wondering where they went. I was like, now I know they came through here. Where'd they go? It's like you did Copperfield's 13 portal vanish and then reappear somewhere else.
There was a magic funny.
Well, Andre called Christian Magician. I emailed him and said, I pray somehow you're able to pull a real rabbit out of the hat because he's allergic to rabbits.
Look.
It says that Undercall has performed every illusion you can possibly all, including close-up, except for one. And I read it, but pulling a rabbit out of a hat, and I'm thinking, wonder why. Because he's allergic to rabbits. And I think, well, I know you can buy these realistic ones, you know. There you go. Hey, Andre. Ta-da!
Now, for my final trick, I shall pull a bunny out of a hat.
Whatever, dog. What's so funny?
Oh, he's imitating allergic to a bunny.
Oh, were you really coughing?
Huh?
Were you really coughing?
No, he's imitating. You know, like how you can act Andy? I mean, now I'm calling Tommy Andy. I said, you know how you can act good Andy? And I meant to say Tommy. Yeah.
I think it's Teddy.
Yo, dog, bring my bike out in one piece.
Yo, dog.
Yeah, what up, dog?
Woof, woof. I was missing Undercall did every illusion except for rabbit a hat because he's allergic to it. So Eugene almost said Andy again.
Brilliant. I just got me some sugar-free ice cream. It tastes just as good as real stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
Bill's looking for his imaginary friend killing the magic bunny.
Magic bunny?
I saw him hopping the wave.
Oh, man.
So it's carrot farm. You want some more carrots?
Like Carrot Top. Never mind. Oh, they're playing hide and go seek over there.
Huh?
Oh, they're playing. I hear someone saying playing hide and go seek.
I'm not fast eating. I want to get freeze brain.
Let him eat before he throws up with you.
Before I get freeze brain.
And then throws up with you.
That too.
His wife, damn. Okay, y'all.
Bobbie, come here. Why do you say throw up? Why you...
Oh, man. Well, after Tommy got me on the Sonic, the Outer Limit, I'm trying to think, the Hurler, that was the last thing. You got an
You
order.
got on the drop zone, the volcano, and you went on the
Outer Limits,
outer limits, and then the
Hurler.
hurler.
Look, he's stuck in a
And that's it. I feel like who's
I didn't want to leave.
yeah, Tommy did that on tape. I went to look and the camera went there. There's no Klingons over there. Yeah, Tommy's laughing,
Well, they want to warp 10.
yeah. Yeah, no magic shops there at all.
Bobbie's is a tree.
Now, I know Busch Gardens, when I go, they will have a magic shop in Hastings.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't have Hastings.
They don't got Hastings?
No.
They tore it down?
No.
What?
It's Ireland.
It's called Ireland now?
They have a magic shop there because I went there.
Oh, okay.
Yellow shorts. I forgot her name.
You know, I guess it's probably not called Wizard Works anymore.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, let me zoom in on it. Oh, I see some animals climbing trees.